Okay, let's do this again. So this is the third take on the lightning tutorial. I swear to God, man. Okay, let's do this one more time. This time, I usually would just explain it in simple terms, but I just made a whole animation. And even if I don't put a tutorial, as long as I upload this, you'll understand it kind of. But hey, here you go. So I'm gonna play animation first. I'm gonna play one more time, and now I'm going to explain it. So let's go right back to the beginning, right where the dude kind of phases in or whatever. So as you can see, I make the lightning travel. Now the way I do this is by making certain parts flicker in, like this one and this one, and then I make them disappear and or gradually stay kind of close to the animation, but just don't last long at all. Okay, so basically it breaks down, but it flickers in as it appears, and it kind of you will kind of want to make it follow the same line of trajectory from the last animation. Like this one's going slightly down, so the one next to it is kind of like going down as well. You kind of want to make it do that, so that way it makes sense. It leads up to the next animation, like all of the animations that people do. As for the ball itself, well, I said this before in the lightning tutorial before, but it did not upload. Basically, you want to combine the fire techniques that I use and the water techniques that I use, and you want to mash them for lightning. You make some parts of it round, you make some parts of it spiky. That's how it works. And you keep it like that. Honestly, if you're going to make it travel slowly, you make the beginning of it, like the very beginning of it, round, and then you make the ends of it kind of like jagged, jagged, spiky. Even the effects are spiky and still slightly round in some places. But you make them flicker and then kind of, gradually dissipate over time. So that's what I do for this entire part. As it goes away, pieces of it still flicker and linger behind. And on some of them, you want to just get rid of them altogether. So as you can see, this piece is here. There's no frame in between, but then it appears again. That's another way of doing it, but I didn't do that way in this part because it's a little bit more complicated because you might end up forgetting that piece exists altogether. And that's what happened to me. I forgot it exists altogether. So then it disappears, then like 5 frames. Yeah, I think about like 5 frames. 5 frames in between. Boom, you get a lightning effect of it coming out of the ground. You make it kind of break off into these little pieces. And as you can see, the pieces where the spikes are is where I made it break off. Now this one doesn't have a spike right here, but I still made it break off simply because, well, it looked cool. That's right. There was no reason. It looked cool. That was the reason. And it's the same thing for all the way up here. I make the ball, the main body, basically, and I make the lingering effects a little bit jagged and spiky, and the effects around it are the same exact way. But all the spikes on the effects, you want them to kind of break off. You want them to break off and or disappear. And honestly, you don't have to make them all follow uh, the same. How do I explain this? You don't have to make them follow the same path or direction that the main body is going. You just kind of make them do their own thing. Like some of these are going out under, some of these are going sidewards. I think there are even some still going up. Some of them are still going down. Like some of these are going down, for instance. And honestly, there's no really one way to do this. It's mainly just you do it, but you make it consistent. So if you're making it go one direction, you want to keep making it go in that single direction. And then once I make the body, I just make them break open. Then the same stuff as before. It travels, it travels, it travels. And then as for this part, I used the exact same thing, but I made it into a move this time. And for moves, you kind of want to make a effect that shows what the move is doing, but you want it to be lightning, so you implement the same techniques, and then you just kind of just make an action. For this, I used the movie clip, the lightning moving clip that I used in a part of something. I believe it was a part of something part 3 or part 4. I'm not really sure which one. And as long as it leads up to it, it'll look good no matter what. So play it one more time. And play it one more time so that way people can see it. And yes, I will be uploading this separately.